A true and faithful relation will pass for many years between Dr. John Dee and some spirits. Meric Casaubon, 1659. The copy of the aforesaid letter to Rudolph, and we're not sure exactly where we are. Let me go another line up. Vel qualis necum procendi vobis persuasa catio vel qual pro Casarai vestri responsi forma initum captumque concilium non-sum tam immodeste curios us ut ex piscar nec aliter vel alea ration de sacra vestra majestatis Caesarea prudente eo gratiasa in premissis resolution sum solicitus quam me fidelum sincerum eo devotum die omnipotentis eo in deo propterque vestra sacra Caesarea majestatis servitorum deciat vido tamem me dum nolum adiu ad promissa recipirum responsum per tam alte filentiae quasi stimulum ad quantulum impelleat secundo vestram Caesaream majestatem ad maniam ne divinum hane eu divinitas oblatum misericordium tam in expectatum tam magnum tam in auditum tam admirandum tam multiplicem tam statue imperatorio Christian ac Republica necessarium tam curtam tam partam eamc per die omnipotentis Caesarea majestatis vestra fidelem servitorum re ipsa vobis confirmandum eo administrandum se sacra vestra Caesarea majestas valuisset parve momente negotium vel inventum aliquod humanum aut fraudum diabolicum esse vel for ulla modo suspicimini vel credatis tale enim etam grave vestra Caesarea majestatis error omnipotens die incendi passe furorem vehementer ver eor eo ne hanc die misericordiam respuntes et justem indignatem provocatis vindictum valde metuo qua propter cum vidiam calum ipsum calestia talia mysteria non tali tantac cura vestra sacra majestate casarea ad hoc esse quale quantaque optassum equidem ego potius quam ut vel Deus hujus sua preas in audita misericordia ultroc vestra casarea majestati oblata prorsus nullum penis hominis haberet conspicuum judicium argumentum testimonium vel experimentum et potius quam mea sapa nominata fidelitas sinceritas eo devotio sive votum ergadium eo vestram casaream majestatem omne apud posteros nostros careret fide eo veritatis manifesta verbora in tae nomini eo ad jus laudem honorum eo gloriam eo ut vestra serenissima casarea majestatis satisfactiam desiderio heroico de lapide elo benedicto philosophorum vocato lapide in infallibiliter vidento possidendo eo utendo essero vestra sacra casarea majestate lapidem iundem me auxilio favorec divino conficere posse et propterea se vestra casarea majestas me velit interim fibe intime charum haber et et se pro dignitate tanti miseria eo benefici fibe a mil liberalissim eo humililim exhibende gratiose me tracter dignatur non tamen aleo quidem vel altiore me insigniens titulo quamque vestra casarea majestatis philosopho eo mathematico conveniant hies litteris ore eo corda palacior sanctica coram Manas vestras casarias eosin sumptibus vestres ad elud opus perficiendum requiendis ac brevissimo quo fieri pateret tempora nutudae me daturum de alias praeterea arcanus arhiu mehe silendum esse video nunc autem sacra casaria majestatis vestra gratiosum liborum constantem voluntatem in premissis non eliter ne fe ex vestro proprio gratioso ore vel ex vestra casaris literis propriis intelligere cupio nullum enim jam nosco dignum eo aptum que in istis elisque natura eo artis secretis meus penis vestram casariam majestatem fiere deberet Mercurius. September the 25th, Praga. Note, I went to dinner to the Spanish ambassador and carried with me the stone brought me by an angel. Joseph Smith later claimed that an angel showed him a stone. Of course, what is angel probably means jinn. You know, people take issues like angel. Well, angel's kind of ambiguous. You know, people even call prostitutes angel. At the fourth book, wherein the manner of bringing of it is expressed, and also I carried with me Librum Sextum Sanctum Mysticum. After dinner, when I had showed him these things, his final answer was that verily he took the doing to be by good angel. Marry the matters be too great. Therefore, said I, they are for the service of God, and not only man. He said he was a sinner, and not worthy to be privy, much less to be a doer in them, notwithstanding. Whatsoever he can do therein acceptable to God, he would be most obedient thereto. He desired a copy of the emperor's his said letters, that he might consider circumspectly of the contents before he should deliver them, whereunto I consented. Rendering his honor thanks, I departed. And a copy of the letters desired in the margins. And one of the things that a lot of people don't get is you're worthy of what you're capable of. After my return home, I found Edward Kelly resolved to go from hence tomorrow for his wife and go straightway into England, which was to me a grief. But what can I do but refer to all the mercies of God, whom I have called upon for wisdom to serve him withal? I have put my trust in the Lord. I have not murmured at any such pangs and temptations hitherto. The mercies of the highest be upon me as I put my trust in him. And I'm sure that probably means temptation. Edward Kelly ready to go into England as pretended. Now, something's capable of, not quite the thing, right? You're capable of marrying, but certain character degrees should be had in who you seek. I mean, largely based on your character. I don't mean some social class thing. I mean like your moral character. Somebody should have their act together to get together with somebody that has their act together in certain respects. You know, it's not, and it's obviously not good on on a chaste person to end up with an unchaste person that hasn't, gone through all the steps they need to be such independently, or, or sobriety issues, or whatever. It should be up to par just because they're capable of actually physically being married or something. That's just now we were all brought to great penury, not able without the Lord Laskies or some heavenly help to sustain our state any longer. Besides this, I understood of the Queen's displeasure for my departure, and of the Bishop of London his intent to have begun to have accused me of conjuration, and so to have the secret assistance of you know whom. Tu es Deus fortitudo mea refugium meum susceptor meas eo liberator meus. Amen. Wednesday, September 26th, ante Meridium, Praga, about 10:30 of the clock. Dr. Kurtz sent with Mr. Simon Haggach, his servant, to know my lodging. He had passed not far off, in a lane on horseback, his self going into the town, and so met Mr. Simon Haggach at the lanes, and so on, Doc. And in the previous section for the Tuesday, there was in the margin poverty, Edward Kelly ready to go to England as he pretended. The Wednesday section here, we have Dr. Kurtz, and Dr. Kurtz is also to be found in the Thursday section sides here. Thursday, September 27th, Praga. So there's probably a spiritual operation that we're going to talk about here, not just context of Maine. About 7 of the clock, 5 hours before the midpoint of the day, came Dr. Kurtz, his servant, from his master, to tell me that his master would come to me at 9 of the clock. At 9 of the clock came Dr. Kurtz on horseback to my lodging at Dr. Haggach, his house, by Bethleen, my wife. He saluted, and little Catherine, my daughter. Mr. Kelly had gotten him into his chamber, not willing to be seen. After he was come up into my little study, and there set in Mr. Kelly his usual place, and I in mine, I began to complain of the great injury done unto me here, for I came as a sincere and faithful servitor of the Emperor his Majesty, intending all goodness and honor unto him, no hindrance, loss, or hurt. Neither came I propter divitia casaris mehe galligandas, as I said expressly unto his Majesty, I was before I came hither of good name and same, both in this court and all Europe over, as you yourself, Mr. Doctor, quoth I, can bear me witness, and other in this court diverse, and that here my name and fame should suffer shipwreck, where I thought I had been in a sure haven of my principal patron. My thinketh that great injury is done unto me. I know no means how to help it, but to give you warning of the envious, malicious backbiters that also are about this court, that as you find occasion, you might encounter with this evil and foul monster, in so mighty a prince's cause, intruding itself. The doctor seemed not to know what I meant. I told him that at a nobleman's table there was of great account, who said that there was an Englishman come to the emperor's, a bankrupt alchemist, a conjurer, a necromantist, who had sold his own goods and given the Lord Lasky the money, and he had beguiled him, and that now he would fain get some of the emperor his money from him, and so on. The doctor seemed greatly to mislike these slanderous words, and said that he never heard of any such, with some few words more of the wicked manner of backbiters. After this, he, as concerned the report making to the emperor that I had shewed unto him at his house, as before noted, he said that he had made a plan and sincere report, whereunto the emperor's majesty had as yet given no answer. And to be plain with you, said he, his majesty think them almost either incredible or impossible, and would have some leisure to consider of them, and is desirous to have the sight of those Latin actions you have showed me, or a copy of them, and especially of that which containeth a paraphrasis of the Apostolic Creed. I answered that my books I would not deliver out of my hands. As for a copy of them, I would at leisure write it, that his majesty might have it. And then I told him farther that because it was so long before I had heard any word of him, I had letters ready to send to the emperor's majesty to have farther declared my mind unto him. I declared unto him the tenor of them, and he told me that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon the man should go to the court, and if I then would send them, his man should carry them. I answered that I would expect a day or 2 for the emperor's return hither. After this we talked of some mathematical matters, and I showed him the little book De Superficarium Divisionibus, sent forth by me and the Commandeus, printed at Pesar's in Italy. He said that he never saw it before. I bade him then take it with him to peruse, and that if I had another copy I would give it him, but I had none other but that. I showed him also the Propade Amata Aporistica de Prastanti Oribus Quibusdam Natura Virtutibus, which he had never seen before. After this, with mutual courtesies offered on both parts, after the manner of the world, he took his horse and returned homeward. Friday, September 28th, intending to send the ambassador's letter herebefore written to his majesty by my good friend, the Spanish ambassador. I wrote this letter to send to the ambassador, that in behalf as concerning the credit of these actions, Illustrissimo Domino Don Guillermo de Sancto Clement Serenissime Atac Catholici Hispaniarum Regis apud Sacram Casaream Majestatem etc. Legato Domino Suo Observandissimo. And one of the things with that is, I'll get into some Latin of this. One of the things, your own spiritual records, have a backup. You can sell the original copy, or give the original copy or something. That's I'd be fine with doing that with some of what I've done. But I like, whether it's didactic art or something, I would very much like to always have a copy. It's like I have a ritual book which I had pictures taken, full-colored pictures, and left it at that. Now this entry, to the Lord Dom William St. Clement, most serene and Catholic King of Spain, and I'm surprised that the Vatican didn't sweep up these manuscripts somehow and either get rid of them for good or keep them in their archives where no one would find them, and maybe we still wouldn't have found them. Of course, the Enochian stuff to a degree was, Dr. John Dee's work to a degree was sort of a secret. Meric Casaubon's book obviously wasn't too much for the commoner, but the Bible, the Pauline section of the Bible, was it say 2 or 3 witnesses or something like that? So witnesses are important. Examples are important. They say the mysteries are contrary to the doctrines of the commonplace arts and sciences. I say no, they're something else. It's not that they're contrary, because I think people mess it up when it comes to spirituality. They say it's contrary. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be contrary. That implies that you're making it up, or that you're not translating it over into this physical world. So, their wisdom, Dee and Kelly and whatnot, has been sought so that God could do his work, and what they've been bestowed upon, the secrets that they've figured out or been shown, that they're going to share this advantage with Mr. Clement. And they're admitting to the dignity and authority of the Catholic Church, and the basics, maybe, putting the same sort of beliefs that they would share with the Protestants in more Catholic terms, and saying, hey, just because we paraphrase, because as we've seen there, just because they paraphrase something, is it postscript? It doesn't mean that they're, being heretical, aka having an opinion for themselves, just to have an opinion of themselves. They're trying to make it, it's like, well, it's not quite our opinion. He puts in the margin, D, it's like, well, this is the conclusion I'm drawing, but I'm trying not to have an independent opinion. And see, their point is to note down faithfully what they've seen and heard. And it's very laborious and, boring and all that. Well, no, they don't say it that way, but when you're copying out 49 by 49 two-sided tables, and you make 49 of them, and yeah, it's just not exactly thrilling. Of course, the practice of it, that's a different story. If you've ever just gone through the tables and worked yourself into a trance that way, and you learn something about them that way, but he asks for, this is September 28th in Prague, and John Dee's asking for excuse because, I needed to move my family and that sort of thing, or, bring them here at the least. And the postscript, Dr. Curtius and some others, and that his library was around the, what's considered to be the Holy Bible, and not, the official books they would list in the Holy Bible. And let me can't quite share that whole thing, but commenting as I go along. I'm not going to finish this letter, but Illustrious eu magnifique heros multis hoc probari potest testimonius eu exemplis quad illa qua praeter vulgarium arterium artium eo scientiarum decreta nova eo supra vulgariter studiosorum expectationem hominibus licet PS eo candidis quidem divinitas revelantur mysteria cum summa difficultate vel intelleguntur a paucissimis vel vix fin suspition admittuntur aut creduntur a pluribus ast qualis in nostris se recta piec informata rostris adhibiatur judicum esse potes suspitio nam adiu omnipotente per multas jam annas fideliter ardente eo constanter per preces requisite sapientia una scilicet qua penis nos quidem videtur esse radix eo occasio tante